So next, we wanted to move into the subject of Andrew Cuomo, who has resigned as governor of New York.
Thank the Lord.
Yes, it's a very complex situation because, as you may or may not know, um,
Wasn't random.
it was not random. He was embroiled in one scandal, and in fact, I don't even see this as a total win for conservatives, and I'll explain why. He was embroiled in the nursing home scandal, in which he was initially being investigated for the deaths of around 14,000 senior citizens in New York by putting people who had COVID but were not experiencing severe symptoms into nursing homes with elderly people
Yeah.
who we know are more likely to experience those symptoms.
I have no clue how he thought of that and why he thought that was a good idea, but that's besides the point.
I also read back when it happened that the Pennsylvania, I believe, director of health, Rachel Levin, who is clearly a woman, uh, was having her own mother or having their own mother taken out of the nursing home before the COVID patients went in. So you have this sort of
Yep.
that's just a side note. This level of leftist elitism that allows for the protection of their parents, but that's not what this is about. He was heavily pressured from all sides based off of the sexual harassment allegations. The report filed against him was 169 pages long. That's a lot of
Yeah.
misconduct.
That's a lot. He messed up.
Um, I know almost everyone on the right was not expecting a resignation. I wasn't expecting a resignation.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be swept under the rug.
Yes, because that is what happened with the nursing home scandal, and
Yeah.
because, as many people across both sides of the aisle agree, Andrew Cuomo is an absolute political machine.
Yep.
He seemingly had survived almost anything coming his way, um, but I guess this turned out to be the thing that pushed him past his survivable limit. He announced this a few days ago, said he was going to be having 2 more weeks as governor before stepping down. At that point, he will be replaced by the lieutenant general. I forget her name. Um, I haven't read much up on her record. I read there was a debacle in 2012 in which she was endorsed by the NRA and then proceeded to turn around and stab them in the back, essentially.
Yikes.
Um, the whole situation is it's very bad for Cuomo, obviously. In his press briefing, he didn't exactly apologize for what he did.
Can't just avoided it entirely.
Yeah, in a way, he said that none of it was true. Also, he's sorry for offending them. I'm surprised he didn't really take much of a harder stance on this.
Right.
It felt like he was mostly just deflecting the blame, talking about how this is about us as New Yorkers and not me, which I would say wasn't exactly true, but
It
um,
was completely about you, man.
but that's just part of what comes with politics.
Politics is a really weird world, right? Because you obviously have people from every side, like every side of the spectrum, but so much can happen in such a small period of time that people don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
Um, and so I think that what some politicians do is they use that to their advantage, right? Because when the whole thing with Cuomo happened with the nursing homes, there was so much going on that it was hard to focus on that one thing and actually you know get like make anything happen out of it because people saw that, but then there were also 1,000 other issues going on at the exact same time.
Hmm.
um and he kind of used that to his advantage to sweep it under the rug as much as he could to just get rid of it and avoid it. But right
So
now, with something as big as sexual assault is, it's really, and considering that there's not too much going on right now, obviously there's always a lot going on, but that was a big story that I feel like everyone knew about. So it was just really hard for him to avoid it
hmm
when, it was right in everyone's faces.
So, like I said, the reason I don't think that this is essentially a conservative victory is because he on the left got away with he was, I believe either way he was gonna go down
Mhm.
for either of these scandals, and he went down for the one that is multiple times less um, serious. Um, I believe that he should have been investigated further. I believe it was the Biden administration that dropped the investigation into this nursing home issue. So in a way, even though he's gone, I believe he really got off the hook because if that investigation was handled right, I think he
Mhm.
could have faced a lot of repercussions for that, which he should have. Either way, he's out now. It looks like the woman replacing him is Kathy Hochul. Hochul. I don't know how to.
Something like that.
Um, I tried to find out, where she stands, how she's going to be governing. Uh, Essentially every article is just about the fact that she will be the first female governor of New York.
I mean, I
Um,
feel like if the NRA endorsed her, even though she did, turn around, stab them in the back, whatever, she has to be at least more mild than Cuomo was, at least a little bit more centrist, which I'm really hoping for.
it will certainly be interesting to see. I read some things a few days ago about how she is supposedly more of a moderate Democrat. So I mean,
Hmm.
obviously that's a dying breed.
Yep, you don't see that much anymore.
I think it was Michael Knowles who said that these days you have the far left, the radical left, and then the only moderate, which is essentially just Joe Manchin in Congress. Um, so it says that she does have a legal background, Syracuse University. She was first made a few waves when she flipped a Republican congressional seat in 2011. Joined Cuomo's team in 2014, but they do not appear to be close. That was another thing I read is they didn't appear much together. Um, I know that she also applied a little bit of influence in order to have him uh, step down over this. She said
Hmm.
she believes he's doing the right thing by doing so. Um, I think it is the right thing for him to do, but he should
Definitely.
also be
He should.
facing way more.
Yeah, he instead of just stepping down, like he shouldn't have resigned. Like he shouldn't have been forced to resign. He should have been fired, and he should have
Mhm.
faced actual consequences.
Yeah.
Because if something terrible happens to me, and I just walk away from it like he did, that's way different than me facing actual backlash, like facing the consequences of my actions, which he's
And
not doing.
it's far more serious when you're dealing with that many people dying as a direct result.
Right.
That'd be like if I was on the road and I crashed into your car, got out, and shot you dead, and then the insurance company or the court demands that I pay for the car.
It's a hit and run.
Yes, justice is being done, but why not focus on the fact that I killed him as opposed to the
Right.
fact that the car's like
Yeah.
it
Exactly.
should be secondary to this much greater issue, which was the nursing home scandal. I don't think he's gonna end up facing anything for that because although he does have to bite the bullet and resign on this one, I really don't see this nursing home debacle ever coming back because in a way, his resignation almost seals it shut. If
Exactly.
he had stayed in office, it might have been a reoccurring
Yeah. You would have
issue.
had to deal with it.
And if he runs for office again, which could happen, then it will probably come up again.
Right. And that's why I'm calling it a hit and run. Kind of, he hit everyone with a truck and just left.
Hmm.
Like,
And is uh, paying minimal damages.
right. Exactly.
A similar example. You hit a bunch of people with a truck and then get fined for speeding or something
Yeah.
like that.
Exactly.
A
It's.
completely secondary issue. Um, Obviously, before all this went down, people couldn't get enough of him. He was, as Ben Shapiro calls it, the love gov. Everyone was. There was all these cable news hit pieces about how he was, like essentially what a real president should be like during the pandemic as opposed to President Trump. A lot of people that I would go on his social medias and all the comments were talking about President Cuomo and you had people like Trevor Noah, this uh, late show host, talking about how he and other people are Cuomo-sexual, and that was the
So
humor
weird.
at the time was talking about how amazing he was doing as a governor.
And it was all a front, really.
Mhm.
He made himself look like he was doing the right thing, and he
Yeah.
just wasn't at all.
He got book deals. He got Emmys for it.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't think he deserved an Emmy. I think he deserved an Oscar because he's the
Oh yeah.
best actor that I've seen in a
Crazy.
long
Yeah, I
time.
know. Well, I mean, you got like he's a good politician. You got to give credit where credit's due. Like he's a
In
crazy
the
good politician.
in the stagnant sense, when people say politician, when it comes with a bad connotation, that's the kind of
Right.
politician
Yeah,
that
that's the
people
kind
think
of
of.
yeah.
Which is it's unfortunate. I think, like Donald Trump said several years ago, good people don't go into politics anymore. And I think that's something that certainly should change.
Mhm.
Uh, until it does change, it just is what it is. You have to call out the people that are doing wrong when you catch it, and hope that they're going to be, brought to justice. Um, and it's important to know that that won't always be the case. People are just going to get away with some things, and unfortunately, the current political stage is established in a way that uh, I would say allows for this certain class of people to get away with
Right.
things other than just the sexual
Yeah.
allegations and things of that nature.
I mean, it's politics. It's a dirty
Mhm.
world. People play dirty games, and it
Absolutely.
sucks, but it's just how it is.